All right. Good evening, everyone. Gwen Green Aguiote here, and welcome to Bless and Be Blessed Homeless Prevention. We have a treat for everyone tonight. We are going to, earlier today, our founder, Lizelle Lizel Vogel, made a post here. Homelessness is not just criminals and drug addicts. This is not the solution. Blessed to Give has the answer. Join us and help us end homelessness. We are live here every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Please join us. Bring a friend. Now, look at that picture there. Look at that. And the caption underneath is, I investigated the city where it's illegal to be homeless. And so tonight there's a short video on here. A lot of people may not even know that a lot of cities, a lot of states, including Florida,
This is Grants Pass, Oregon, the city where it's
outlawed, made it illegal for people to be homeless. And our guest last night from the charity White Butterfly with a Purpose shared how in Maine, some parts of Maine, the police will come and tear down people, tents, homeless people who have nothing already. They'll tear down their tents, throw them away, and they don't even have a shelter for the people. So this is really a bad thing. So here, this is the information from a gentleman who investigated homelessness in one city, and we should reach out to him and ask him to investigate it in other places too. All right, sit back. We're here every night to bring information about a epidemic, a problem that is an epidemic, homelessness among veterans, our heroes, senior citizens, our wealth of this country, and the disabled, those who cannot do and help themselves, and even women and children. I mean, the most vulnerable segment of our society. That's what we're here to bring awareness about. And then also we're here to share solutions. So sit back and let's get another a bird's eye view of the problem from someone else's perspective.
It's illegal to be homeless. Oh, you got trespassed from the park.
People get fined for everything out here.
I've gotten like 30 tickets in the past year and a half, $300 a pop.
They don't care if we live or we die.
If you can't pay, you can't pay. I think they should buy bus tickets and ship them up to Salem.
I have people drive by and say, kill yourself.
They make you feel like a criminal for being homeless.
With $295 fines for anyone caught sleeping in public, and with repeat offenses punishable by 30-day park bans and up to 30 days in jail, in 2018, a group of homeless people sued the city of Grants Pass, claiming these laws criminalize them for being homeless and just trying to go to sleep. As this case has been escalated to the Supreme Court to try to answer if this camp ban is unconstitutional, what do the locals here think about all this?
What are your thoughts on the fines for the homeless people out here in Grants Pass?
They're great.
They're great?
I am so sick and tired of not being able to take my son to the freaking park anymore without finding needles and seeing people overdosing in the parks. So I would like to see all of that cleared up and gone.
Our kids can't go play at the parks anymore without finding drug paraphernalia, without being harassed by homeless people. There's so many mountains around here. There's so many other places that they could stay.
Can't offer somewhere so far in the woods that they can't get to the community resources that they need. Where exactly do you expect them to go?
Where do you think they should go?
That's exactly what I'm saying. There isn't a place for them to go.
What do you think the fines do?
It discourages them to be here.
Yeah.
I think there should be situations to house them, but there's what you'd call, I would say, professional homeless that don't want to be home, want to live in a home. They don't want to live by the rules of society, and that's fine if you want to do that, but not in my backyard.
Let's say I'm living in a tent and I got $1,000 worth of fines.
Well, you don't have the money, you don't have the money.
Okay. We in survival mode out here.
Yes, we
Wow,
are.
Frontier Oregon Trail, baby.
That's right.
Do you think they should be allowed to
To
sleep?
be honest with you, you know what I think?
Talk to me.
I think they should buy bus tickets and ship them up to Salem. Help wanted all over the place. Why don't they just go to work?
Do you think finding the homeless people in Grants Pass will help them become not homeless?
No, not at all. Because they ain't going to be able to pay their fine.
A lot of these people are just low income. It's, $1,500 to rent a one-bedroom apartment. How do you expect someone who's making, like, say, $900 on Social Security to rent a one-bedroom apartment?
Do you think anyone can end up in a tent out here in Grants Pass?
I'm a month away from being homeless.
And do you think finding people in a tent is cruel and unusual?
Yeah, that's a slippery slope.
There has to be some kind of solution. I mean, pick a place where they're not in everybody's way.
Or find a localized park or a place like that we can have housing for them. Like, I've gone to Riverside Park and I caught some dude smoking out of a bong that was actually heroin.
All right, we've talked to a lot of people that live out here. Question is, what will go down at the Supreme Court? What is the precedent that will be set out here? But what do the homeless people getting these fines think about all this? With countless tents in plain sight right at the park entrance, are these people getting fined for sleeping out here? And what happens if they don't pay their fines? I met up with Brock, a vocal member of the community advocating for clean, safe, drug-free parks, and actually has a son suffering from drug addiction living on these streets. Okay, so there are plenty of tents out here. Looks like we've reached the park where going down. You were gonna show me some signs.
These are just the signs that we show during our rallies that we have on the streets.
They call you the park narc?
A park narc sometimes, F an asshole.
Okay, so Brock, you live here in Grants Pass?
Yes.
And you have a son somewhere out here in the parks?
Yes, my son is one of these campers in the park.
Okay.
Yeah. His name is Jack. Jack Spurgeon.
Okay, and how did Jack end up on the streets out here?
He fell into drugs at an early age, around 19.
Okay.
He's 37 now. He's rolled around. He spent 2 seasons in Portland. He just got back from spending 5 months in the Tenderloin, San Francisco. So he's been through it.
But he's not living with you?
No.
Why not?
The drugs.
Okay.
The vast majority of these people need rehab first.
Okay.
Okay, giving them a place to live, putting money in their pockets isn't going to fix anything until they fix the drug problem.
And have you offered your son, hey, would you like to get into rehab or get clean, and then you come back to dad?
Yeah, we were just talking about it yesterday. He's just not ready. Most of the people aren't. If you offer them rehab, most of them will turn it down. I lay in bed every night wondering if I'm going to see my son again. I love him so much, I do work him. I'm a tile contractor, so if he's able to work, I work him and put some money in his pocket. Of course, he spends it on drugs.
Sure.
It's a complex problem.
But what do the people living out here think the solution is? So I'm curious if you've been fined for sleeping out in these parks.
Many times.
Have you been shuffled from one park to the next?
Yep, every week.
How did you end up out here?
I lost my job during COVID and been trying to play catch up ever since, which is kind of hard when you get $300 tickets every day, so.
How many summative ticket costs do you have right now?
I've gotten 30 tickets in the past year and a half at $300 a pop. You do the math.
Is it kind of your belief that it's become a crime to be poor out here?
No. Look at us like we're street trash, and really, we're human beings. Some of the things they come up with to write tickets for, it seems like they're making it up right as they go, Today, I actually did get a ticket, exclusion of the park, which means I'm kicked out of this park for 30 days.
What will happen if you don't leave?
Then I get arrested for trespassing.
And you end up in jail?
Mm-hmm.
Has that happened before?
Yep.
Do you use drugs out here?
No.
No? So Brock, that seems like a pretty situation, right? What are your thoughts on that? Because she's sober, she's not using. Do you think that's a solution to her circumstance?
No. It's not sustainable. Where are they going to get money to pay these fines?
I agree. It doesn't make sense to me. And this game of musical chairs, as these people move their tent from one park to the next, as they collect tickets they'll never be able to pay off, is surprisingly quite common. Okay, let's see what we got.
The same one I got before.
Okay, that's pretty official looking.
I've been fined for illegal camping, I guess they call it.
Get fines if our tent's too big. Mine's apparently too big.
$100. That's $100.
Okay, $100 for Schedule 2 controlled substance. Just setting up a tent out here, you got a fee for how much?
Like $250.
Did you pay that fee?
No, I have not yet.
How many times have you been fined?
I probably got about 25 tickets in the last 6 months, something like that.
$1,000 worth?
Oh, yeah, over that.
Arthoff had a month there where he kicked me out of 8 parks in 7 days.
8 parks in 7 days.
Yep.
That means you're banned from one park, you gotta go to the next.
Yep.
How would you plan on paying that fee, if at all?
I have no idea. I'd have to ask for some help or payment plans or something.
Are you using out here right now?
A low level, like not large.
Fentanyl?
A little bit, not much.
Do most people use that here, or is it kind of mixed?
It's mixed. Yeah.
I'm sure you know this, but fentanyl's pretty deadly, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It is.
That doesn't concern you?
It does.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you carry Narcan?
I do. Yeah, I mean, it was concerning, really, really concerning for a while, and then I started not overdosing. I don't know why. I don't know if that's tolerance or.
How many times have you died?
I don't know. I guess 8 or 9.
8 or 9?
8 maybe.
That doesn't scare you at all?
That's what it was. Yeah, it was scaring me, but.
Shelters out here you could go to sleep in?
There's the mission, like, I don't, buy into that. Like,
Not a big fan?
buy into, but
It's like the Christian stuff and that sort of thing, you're not?
I do believe in Jesus. Like, I love the Lord. Like, but I didn't like the way it felt. Like certain treatment towards me that I don't like. It doesn't relate with me.
I'm not religious. Going to a Christian-based place is just not my forte.
What is something you'd like people in Grants Pass to know about your situation, everyone out here?
Some of these people have jobs. Some of these people aren't even on drugs. People accuse them of being drug addicts and, just homeless bums, and some of them aren't.
Have you been offered treatment, and do you even use anything?
I do.
What do you use?
Fentanyl.
Have you overdosed at all?
Yes, I have.
How many times?
Too many to count.
Yeah. Does that scare you?
You would think it would, but it's more of a peaceful thing.
When you overdose?
Yeah. I think it's just more of the fact that people, not necessarily lazy, I just think they don't think there's any hope. There's no hope. Everybody's lost, motivation to do anything.
Did you start with fentanyl, or did you kind of work your way up?
I started with heroin when I was 13. My dad shot me up with heroin when I was 13. And then I've been an opiate addict ever since.
Jeez. See you, brother. Kind of a similar story to your son, it sounds like?
Similar story to my son, yes.
How does that make you feel?
Like I want to give him a hug.
Yeah.
Tell him to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
I'd be very.
What we pulled off the ball field last week in
Whoa.
Morrison. This is
really
what
bad.
kids are going to find in the park. And they don't mean to all the time. I mean, when you get high, you don't realize what you're dropping, and they don't even realize the problems they're causing.
I'm always afraid he's going to pick up.
Yeah.
Just a tad bit could make him overdose.
You were saying, hey, I kind of agree these needles are on the kids' field, but where do we put them right if they're locked up?
Well, there are disposable units in the bathrooms,
Okay.
but they lock the bathrooms up. Some of the homeless are trying, they're very, very childish, and they do stupid things in retaliation.
What are we seeing? Just spiteful needle tosses? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
It's carelessness. There's probably 15% of the people out here that aren't responsible, but they're just, it looks like all of us.
It seemed like the irresponsible drug users in the homeless population, leaving drug needles and foil in the parks, have caused the locals here to be fed up with the entire homeless population. But the question is, how many of these people want to get out of this situation, and what's the biggest thing holding them back?
It's like they don't want us to be here at all. They don't want to help us get up. You can't get a job if you don't have an address. You can't shower every day. If you don't have a job, you can't make money. If you can't make money, you can't get a place. If you don't have a place, you can't get a job. People get fined for everything out here. You have trash around your tent.
Would this be considered trash, like this Pepsi right here?
Yeah.
If a cop was pissed off, let's
Yeah.
say?
Yeah, I'm drinking it.
Okay.
Your tent's too big. I don't know why they come up with all these rules and regulations just to make it more difficult.
Okay.
I mean, and honestly, they spend more money on making it difficult for people than they would helping people.
Clearly, a $300 fine is not helping these people get out of homelessness, but it might help push these people to move out of Grants Pass and go be homeless in cities like Portland and San Francisco that are more friendly and accepting of tent towns and open-air drug use. But confused why the homeless here continue to live in a city that clearly does not like them, Brock took me to another park down the street where a major tragedy took place that permanently changed the city's relationship with the homeless population.
All right, Matt, thank you. In our top story tonight, Grants Pass residents are demanding action from the city after a man was killed last night during a shooting at Riverside Park.
So this is the heart and soul of Grants Pass, this park.
This park right there.
This whole park.
This whole park.
Yes.
And there's a bit of a division, right? So behind us, we have the tent set up right here. And then over here, families, kids, chilling, no tents at all. And why did they decide to split it in half and say, all right, you can have this half?
It was because of the shooting. Yeah, and enough people showed up at the city hall meeting to demand some sort of change. Look, all they did was took the tents out. They didn't take the drug use out.
All right, I just want to emphasize that we come in here, there's no needles, no foil, but they took out the doors on every stall. So if you're going to take a dump out here, you're doing it raw. You got zero privacy. That's kind of funny. And this is new right here?
Fairly new. They put them up a while ago.
This is for the needles.
Yes. It's weird that you would have to have those at a park, huh?
It's unfortunate.
A children's park, right here.
So I guess the question is, do you think finding homeless people sleeping on public land is cruel and unusual? Because that's what it's been escalated to the Supreme Court. So
Like money?
money, if we
They
catch
don't
you with a
have
tent,
any.
$300.
From where?
It's a fair question.
But basically, this park's really clean,
I haven't noticed anything on this side at all.
right?
Do you think we'll see any of that on that side?
Maybe, because there's people living there.
Question for y'all. We're trying to talk to people about that sign that's basically, finding people who are homeless out here camping.
I got
You
fined for my tent being too big and for stakes being in the ground, and I never even got a warning first. It was $250. So what they do is they send it like to collections or whatever, and like, how do we make court? I'm out here just trying to feed myself.
My question is, if you're homeless, down on your luck, trying to get back on your feet, where else do you sleep?
Exactly, that's the problem.
Do you think this city is treating homeless people like trash?
Absolutely. I've never been treated so bad. They don't care if we live or we die. Because it's just another way to entrap us and enslave us in the debt system.
Every 3 days you gotta move. No stability to get employment or anything good out of this.
I have people drive by and say, kill yourself.
I'm only 17, so like from my point of view, I'm like, okay, adults are going through whatever they're going through, but then there's also like us kids that are living with our parents that are going through all these things, and we know that our parents are going through things, and like the police don't want to like get that. They don't want to understand that adults do have like stresses. It's hard to live out here and pay for an apartment with 2 kids and God knows how many ever animals you have. At this point, it's if you don't want to stay in your parks, then I guess y'all need to like do something about it. Like make a fucking big building for a fucking shelter for everybody. Like,
hello, I just spoke to your daughter.
I think it's bullshit.
Talk to me.
It's like, well, I can understand like people at like Morrison and like the parks that like the kids go to,
Sure.
and Fruitdale, it's out by the school. Like I can understand that, but like over here, it's like, what the point? You're not doing nothing with this over here. As long as everybody would keep their cleaned up and everything, like I don't think it should be a problem.
Sure.
I'm a mom, single mom of 2 kids. Like shit, dude, it sucks being out here, yeah, but it's like, fuck, man, like what are you supposed to do? Like I'm not a druggie. And we ended up here because my ex lost his job and everything. And so we ran a business in Indiana and Illinois. Like, I don't live like this. I've lived in 4 or 5 bedroom houses most of my life. So, it's like to have my kids out here, they're spoiled, rotten turds. And people are like, well, you're not homeless. Well, no, because we don't dress that way and we don't carry ourselves that way. Just because you're homeless doesn't mean you have to carry yourself like a piece of shit.
I mean, $300, you could like rent a place to camp,
Sure.
But you know what? The homeless make themselves look bad because look at this. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Like needle caps and homeless people make themselves look bad.
It seemed like there was a cultural divide within the homeless camps of people genuinely trying to get out of this situation and reintegrate back into working society, and others content with using drugs and living free of responsibility on the streets. Question for you, I see you're moving your stuff. Did they recently sweep your tent?
They just moved because my tent was 1 foot bigger than I was supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's my whole life here. I'm moving around constantly, losing stuff, forgetting stuff, people getting stuff,
Yeah.
I'm just trying, and I'm actually out here working, so I have a job. And
Oh, you got trespassed from the park?
yeah.
Do you think the city hates homeless people?
I still don't think they hate people, they just misunderstand me.
I'm gonna be real. This is f***ed up. It's pretty brutal, dude. If you're constantly in this cycle, spending 10 hours a day, resetting the day, what time do you have to spend figuring this out? With Brock's strong push for clean, drug-free parks, hosting rallies every week to gain more local support and to raise awareness for the cause, I was both saddened and surprised when we found this in the park.
Jack, that's my son right there.
Whoa, this is unplanned.
Yeah, it's unplanned. I kind of had a figure he was here.
Hey, my name's Tyler.
Tyler.
Good to meet you.
Sorry.
No, you're good. How you doing, man? Your dad showed me around the parks out here.
What do you think?
Nice parks. How long you been in this tent setup?
I mean, a few days. We get moved around a lot, so.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about you today. Is there a world you move in with Pops one of these days?
Probably not.
What's keeping you out here?
Mostly addictions and disabilities.
What are you using out here?
Everything.
Yeah.
But I'd say fentanyl is probably the number 1.
Pops, what are you thinking?
It tears me apart.
Yeah.
He knows if he wants to get clean, though, my door is open. If he puts in the work, It still hurts, you know. You come out here, and I don't want him here.
Yeah.
I want him safe and in a house.
Yeah.
You know, he's smart and capable, but drugs keep him down.
I hear you.
And he's not ready to really try to get off drugs.
What are your thoughts when you see Pops tear up a little bit over here?
No comment.
No comment. Did it hurt you to see him hurt as well a little bit? Or are you kind of just doing your own thing?
There's so much drama in my life. I try to just think of the positive stuff.
Fair. I feel you, man. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you, bro. I've heard a lot of good things about you. I hope you stay safe.
Well, this hurts, but you'll call me later tonight or something. We'll work out getting you to work tomorrow, and I'll put a little money in his pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys have a moment, all right?
All right, thanks.
All right. I know that was hard emotionally, I'm sure, but that interaction, I think, will hit home with a lot of people, right? That is your son.
Oh, yeah.
That could be your son.
Yeah. I'll tell you, when he disappeared into the Tenderloin for 5 months, I thought I'd never see him again. And he's disappeared for so many times. He'll be gone for 4 or 5 months. I wish he would want to be better.
With Brock's son Jack having a house to move into when he's ready, yet still refusing to leave the streets due to his drug addictions, it's clear the root cause of these people living on the streets is not always affordable housing or poverty, and for some, the drug use becomes a debilitating health crisis and lifestyle shackling them to the streets. But for the people out here who want to get out of the streets, unlike Jack right now, where can they even go? I headed to the Gospel Rescue Mission, one of the only homeless shelters in Grants Pass that's often criticized for having strict rules and for mandatory church attendance. While this is one of the only shelters in town largely funded by Christian donors, can anyone that's homeless come live here? And why is it so hated amongst homeless advocates and people currently living on the streets? I'm here with
Brian Botiller, Director of the Gospel Rescue Mission in Grants Pass. So for 41 years, we have been working to help people leave homelessness. Really, our program is really gunning for the guy that says, I want to leave homelessness behind, and with some effort, I can do it. And maybe for some of them it takes 2, 3, or 4 times. You know, I have a gal that just graduated. She's graduating this week with a sustainable income and a home, who was exactly like some of the people in your other videos. You know, when you're looking at the issues of addiction and stuff like that. But we always believe that people are capable of changing. Everybody that, you know, stays here kind of helps contribute to their stay in one way or another.
Including a strict set of rules and responsibilities that everyone had to perform in this organization's mission to reintegrate people into a job setting after they leave the shelter. But they offer some nice amenities, including a gym, laundry machines, and a dining room that they help operate and maintain.
We don't think of them as rules. We just think of them as
And this is one of the rules right here. And this is like, hey, listen, if you want to be a part of this, you got to lock in.
It's a place where all these guys get Jesus jammed down their throats, right? It's all happening.
Talk to me. You say that facetiously, obviously, but that is the narrative to some folks.
Guess what? It's all church people that are paying your way here, man. They're you know, I'm not asking them to, you know, again, get dunked underwater or anything like that.
So no forced baptism.
Yeah, no forced baptism. But what they get is about a half hour to 40-minute Bible study in the morning, half hour to 40-minute Bible study in the evening. They can still make their own decision. I have plenty of people who enter here agnostic and leave here agnostic.
Sure. And as I saw this guy down the hall, I wanted to hear his honest review of living here. So when did you come in here?
About 8 days ago.
Okay, this is fresh, right?
I enjoy it here. I enjoy all the guys here.
Brother, you don't have to say that just because I'm here, okay?
So cover your ears. Let me ask him. Yeah. So 8 days ago you came in here. Where'd you come from?
The streets.
Okay.
I was thrown out of my house, and I'm doing wonderful. Okay. I can't believe it. How good I'm doing. How nice the people are here, and I enjoy it. I used to be on drugs. Since I've been here, I don't need them.
So you've been sober last 8 days, or a little bit more?
8 or 9 days.
So you've just been raw dogging the sobriety.
Yeah.
You're actively sort of, I don't know.
I get along with the staff.
Yeah.
I get along with the inmates here. Well, inmates, I'm sorry.
But while this place might be a godsend, no pun intended, for those willing to comply with the rules and responsibilities it comes with, the most surprising aspect of this tour might just be these vacant beds.
So you can see everything with no bedding in here is vacant space.
So if we were to walk to the park right now, let's say you and I, say, Hey, we got 20 vacant beds. If you guys are willing to follow the rules and regulations, so you guys would take them in today? What is the likelihood any of them would take you up on that offer?
I would argue 99% chance that they're going to say no.
And what is the biggest reason they have for saying no? Because the bed's here, right? They don't have to be out in the wilderness.
The first thing they'll tell you is that there's rules. Okay, they've taught to think of those things as barriers. It's been repeated ad nauseum to them about how bad these things are.
If I come in and I fully do basically whatever you tell me to do, and I withstand the rules and regulations of the program, I will leave, get a job, end up in a house, back on my feet. So 33% of your people have succeeded in that capacity.
Not only that, after 30 days in this room, they will have been sober for 30 days, which means that they can pass a UA for a job.
Oh, shoot. While there are empty beds available for people that are willing to partake in the programs and comply with the rules here, once these beds fill up, where else will the remaining homeless go? While being upset with the drug needles and foil left behind is completely understandable, the concept of fining someone for trying to survive in a tent outside seems downright evil. And if the town's goal is really to just keep these homeless people out of sight, it seems like finding them will only keep them poor, on the streets, and at the parks their kids play at.
All right, all right. That was a I like that because it looked at the truth of all sides. But this is the issue with homelessness. So many people, they look at it as, oh, homeless people are drug addicts. All homeless people are drug addicts, which simply is not true. And so what do we do with the population that are not drug addicts? Yes, there are people who do not want to get off the street. Yes, yes. And we heard that. So do we throw away the good people? These same people who are on drugs, they are the very threat to the people that we desire to help. The elderly and the disabled, they're in that environment. They don't want to be there. So where do they go? And I'm a Christian, but I like the fact that the homeless shelter has rules because that is going to help people get on their feet. But not all people, and some of them don't even know. They just heard stories. So they haven't even gone and checked it out for themselves. They just hear horror stories. Oh, they're going to force you to do this and force you to do that. And many of these people, some may have mental issues, some may have very bad trust issues where they just like, no, I don't want to be under the control of someone else. So I really want to open the floor. This video really, I think did a good job. I wish it had focused more on the elderly. I wish that it had highlighted the problems of people who have lost a job. There were a few people in there who were homeless because they lost a job or because they could no longer afford the rent due to increase. He did talk to a few people, but the majority of the people that he talked to were on drugs. The crazy thing is these were prescription drugs. Now, I don't know about everybody else, but I think the pharmaceutical companies need to have some type of a program for rehabilitating people when they get addicted to those drugs. Those are prescription drugs. Those were created in a lab. Those were prescribed to people. And these pharmaceutical companies are making billions and trillions of dollars. So that's just my take on it. I believe that the pharmaceutical companies should have to set aside a portion of that money that they make to create rehabs for people specifically who get addicted to fentanyl or other opiates and who want to get free. I think that will go a long way. Now, the other thing is for the people who are homeless because of their money do not carry them far enough, or they have PSTD, people who are disabled. I think that there need to be something in place to help those people, not a ticket, not just writing blanket tickets. Anybody else want to open up the line and chime in here?
If no one's got anything to say, I'm going to give some more details here.
Okay.
So, regarding the shelters having empty beds like that, first of all, that is very, very rare. Most shelters have a waiting line. You line up every day to see if you can get a bed, and many, many people don't get in. So, whatever area that was in, that particular shelter, if they're not filling their beds every night, I can't figure that one out, because that's not normal. That's not what you see throughout the country. Anywhere where there's a shelter, that there's lines of people waiting to get in every night, trying to get a bed for the night, and many people get turned away. Today, I learned that just in the community where I live, that the homeless population increased by 20% practically overnight. Over this last week, 20% increase in homelessness. This is an indication of what's happening in this country because of the high cost of living and so many people not able to earn enough to meet that cost. So if they're already, and this, has to do with landlords raising the rent, doubling the rent on people. If they can't afford what they're already paying, how are they going to pay the rent when you double it? But they know they can rent it to somebody else and get more money, somebody who has a job. So most of the time, the people who are winding up homeless here, they're either families with young children that are struggling to support that whole family, or it's elderly people and disabled people who are living on Social Security. And the thing is, that particular video right there talks about this one particular park area in this one particular city that is fining people for being homeless. Homelessness is something that happens to people. It's not a criminal offense that you decide to do. It's not a calculated act of criminal behavior. Yes, there are some people who just don't want to live by the rules. They're lazy, they're whatever. Well, they're never going to be productive. They're never going to do anything. And they're always going to be looking for a place to surf. They're just surfing through life. So the thing is, though, the cities need to be offering an alternative. They honestly just need to create tent cities and let these people who want to live in tents and be lazy go there. And don't bother cleaning it up. Don't bother. These people don't care. They don't care. Just give them the alternative of a place to go where they don't get fined. It's not a criminal activity. But instead, they're trying to force people out of homelessness by fining them. That's a ridiculous, absurd idea. Good luck with that. That'll never work. And all they're doing is creating a more frustrating situation, first of all, for the people who are homeless, but even for the government. They're never going to get that money out of those people. And those people they're just never going to be able to pay these fines. And what are they going to do? Put them in jail? Well, then they become a burden to the taxpayer in jail, that they're taking up a bed and they're taking up eating food, and they're responsible when they're in jail. Some of these people, and there are people, their mode of operation is to see if they can stay arrested and stay in jail, because when they're in jail, let's see, they get medical, they get they get those 3 square meals a day. They got a bed to sleep in. Maybe they got to put up with a bunch of BS from a bunch of people, but at the same time, they're not sleeping out with the snakes in the grass. They're just sleeping with some different snakes. So, you pick and choose which way you want to go there. But making homelessness criminal is not a solution to the problem at all. And the people who truly want to get out of the homelessness never plan to be homeless. It's the things that happen: COVID, loss of jobs, outaging the job market, disabilities. These are not people who chose to be homeless. It has happened to them. It's almost like getting sick. It happens to you. So the thing that we're all about here is providing the alternative solutions, at least for veterans, the elderly, and the disabled, because our program and our activity is wrapped around giving these people, those particular people, a permanent place to live that's safe, a community that is designed around their specific needs, and that they don't have to, it's not temporary, it's a permanent place for them to stay until they don't want to be there anymore, or they pass away, or they go to a nursing home, or something happens, and then we just move somebody else in. So, our alternative method here is to build tiny house cottage villages and put veterans in one place, elderly old ladies in another, disabled people in a property that's been designed with ramps and different things to accommodate people in wheelchairs and that have physical disabilities. Giving these people safe environments to be, where they're not being victimized by the drug addicts and the criminal activity that goes on out there. This is not a hard thing to take care of, giving those particular people safe places to live. It's as simple as we open some thrift stores. The thrift stores then generate the money that supports the communities. The more thrift stores we build, the more communities we can open. So we're on this push to get 1 million people before the 4th of July to become 1 in a million, the first 1 million people. We want 1 million people on board here by the 4th of July so we can implement this plan of action and get these people out off of the streets and not have those particular vulnerable, very delicate people subjected to the harshness that they live under being homeless. I mean, try to imagine your own grandparents living in a tent in storms like we just had come through Texas today. For 3 days in a row, we've had flash flooding and 113-mile-an-hour winds that just ripped this place apart. Imagine all those people living in tents with that storm blasting through there. Imagine your grandparents possibly having to live in a tent like that. Now, why in the world we're having elderly people need alternative housing is beyond me, because I've never understood why people don't just take their parents on in. They took care of you when you were a baby, but now we see old folks are either getting shoved off to a nursing home or an assisted living home, but if they don't have money for that, or they don't qualify for the government benefits that will pay for them to be in a place like that, which they would have to have some kind of a real physical disability of some sort, they're not going to a place like that. So they have nowhere to go. If they're able to take care of themselves, bathe themselves, clean them, clothe themselves, get up and walk down the street and things like that, they're not going to get placed into a government-funded type of nursing home. So there's just this huge need for that in-between place for people who have outaged the job market and those that are ready to go into a full-time nursing care home. There's got to be a place, we're talking 10, 15, maybe years here, that somebody's going to need to be housed on average between, say, the ages of 60-ish to 80-something, that right in there. And some of these people might be able to go into some type of job, but if they are homeless, people say, well, they just need to get a job. They just need to get a job. Well, if you have no place to bathe, put yourself in their shoes. If you have no place to bathe, you can hardly ever get your clothes washed or have any place to keep your clothes or keep them clean. Think about it. Whatever you own, it's in a duffel bag or something. If it rains, you're likely to get everything you got all wet. So this is like an impossible situation to live in these conditions and then try to go find a job. Who's going to hire you when you can't bathe? You have no address. So they need a structure, and the shelters are full. So, most of these shelters, they only let you stay there for 5 days. I know of one shelter that will let you stay there for 21 days. If they think they can get you a job, if they think you're employable and they can help you get a job. Otherwise, you only get to stay there for 5 days. Well, then what? Then what? Where do you go then? So this is why we're developing this Blessed to Give homeless prevention program, because we know that Americans are big consumers. They've been fueling the thrift store industry of Goodwill and Salvation Army stores and different ones. And Salvation Army does run shelters, but they don't have enough. There's not enough shelters and not enough beds. And honestly, there's never going to be. And with, the rate of just this community increasing in homelessness by 20% in the last week, what's it going to be next week and the week after that? As more and more and more elderly people are experiencing this high cost of living, they're being forced out of jobs and into retirement and getting a very small, generally $700, $800, $900 a month. Average person, that's all they're getting. You can't live on that. You can't pay for a place to live and groceries. Even if somebody was willing to just rent you a room, which is very hard to find people who have rooms for rent that want to have old people living with them. I don't know how many people I have called that had rooms posted for rent, trying to find a place for a sweet little old lady to go live. And as soon as they found out that she was 70-something years old, they were like, oh, we don't want anybody that old in here. No, we don't want anybody old. So it's very hard to find places for them to stay. So that's why we are developing this whole thrift store business model that brings in the money that will fund the building of tiny houses and the development of properties for them to live on, so that they have a permanent, stabilized environment to live in that is created around their particular needs. So we're really, I can't stress it enough, how important it is that we tell people what we're doing here. Get them to come to these calls, learn about the issues of homelessness, and get involved in our program. $1 a week. 1 million people give $1 a week. $1 a week. They go on our website and they register for $5 a month to come out of their bank account. On a 5-week month, that's $1 a week. Maybe the 4-week months, well, it's an extra $1. Extra $1 still isn't going to hurt you. $2 a week, you won't even miss it. But it's really not even $2 a week. It's $1 a week on average. So by everybody coming together and doing that, participating in that way, doing that very small act of kindness, that very tiny small act of kindness, 4 little quarters every week, committing to that, we can house many, 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 many people. The pain you will feel of spending that $5 a month, I don't think you're going to feel any pain at all. but we're going to alleviate a lot of pain that a lot of our seniors are feeling, that a lot of our disabled people are feeling, and particularly our veterans. It won't hurt you. It won't hurt you, I promise. You'll watch that $5 come out of your bank account every month and feel proud of what you're doing, that you're participating with the rest of the loving, caring Americans in this country to provide for these people so that they don't live out in the weather and are victimized and have everything they own stolen all the time, their phones. They lay down, go to sleep, and the next they wake up, they have nothing left. There's nothing there except the clothes they're wearing. This is a terrible way to live. Terrible way to have to live. And in America, it shouldn't even be happening. There's something wrong in our system. I'm just going to say it. There's something wrong in our system if our elderly people are now being forced into living a life in homelessness. And with more and more people becoming of age, it is going to become a very big problem. It's going to be a bigger problem, and it's going to multiply faster than we can even begin to calculate. So if we don't get started now and really, really, really reach out to people and encourage everyone to become one of the first million people to get involved with this problem is going to snowball and escalate into a runaway avalanche that nothing's going to be able to catch up with. If we start now, though, we get these thrift stores open. We open the one here in Denton, Texas, and then we go open another one. Maybe we open that one in, what was it, Portland, Maine last night we were talking about? Desperately needing to help somebody who's trying to help people there. We're going to go where the people are that are wanting to help. They're already doing things to try to help these people. We're going to go and for every million people that give us $1 every week, that's another thrift store we can open somewhere else and somewhere else and somewhere else until we've got these thrift stores just all over the country. We're opening up all these little tiny villages on the outside skirts of those communities all over America, and we end this craziness. We just put an end to it. This is an easy problem to solve, but it does take everyone participating and sharing it with other people. First of all, they become a 1 in a million contributor, and then share it with other people and help tell as many people as possible. Today, I went out in the public to find businesses that would get behind this in the local area, to give me a coupon or some kind of publication marketing their business. We want to take a gift bag and fill it full of thousands of dollars worth of value to be able to give to people as we go out and do events at churches. If you've got somebody you know who's associated with the church, get the church to let us come talk to the people about this. Everybody in America should be participating in this. Everyone. It's not a problem that the government's ever going to get a grip on. It's not going to be a problem that the government solves. It's a problem that the people are going to have to come together to solve. It's the only way. It is the only way. So everybody needs to really realize how important this is, how essential it is that we get this done, because it is going to affect you. It's going to affect everyone. The more homeless people there are out there, the more crime there is going to be. Watch. Just watch. And we're going to hear about a lot of elderly people being victimized left and right. So we've got to get them somewhere safe.
Lizelle,
Yes,
I want to ask you a question, go back to what you were saying. I love these solutions. Going to Bless and Be Blessed is running a program where we will be the marketing arm for businesses that join the fight. And we're going to be giving away thousands of dollars in coupons and gifts to the people. So we're going to be acting as a go-between for the businesses and the people. So everyone who sign up for the 1 in a Million Founders Club, $1 a week, $5 or more, as the Lord lays on your heart to give, you will receive a bag of, I call them bag of goodies, with savings and free stuff from companies who have a desire and who have agreed to donate and contribute, or not even donate, but because all of these businesses have a marketing budget. Every business must market their services. And so we are going to be a marketing arm, and that is going to also fund the Bless and Be Blessed homeless prevention. So I just wanted to really
from their
highlight that.
advertising. Yeah,
Right,
from their advertising budget. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they pay $50 to $100 a month to have us distribute their marketing coupons and different things they may already be publishing and putting on Groupon or different places, but we want to fill these gift bags so that when we go and do a public event, we're going places, or we're like today, I talked to Walmart about putting tables up in front of Walmart and talking to people, educating people that are going in and out of the store. So we have these gift bags all sitting up there on the table. If you saw a table, let's just say you go up to Walmart and you're going in Walmart and you see this table and there's all these gift bags up there and all this red, white, and blue flags and everything. Aren't you going to be a little curious what that might be? So those gift bags, with all that value in there from all these merchants and businessmen through the county. So like Denton County is about 6,000 businesses that are registered. That does not include all the insurance agents, service providers, all kinds of other people that are doing businesses. So lots of restaurants with, discounts off on meals and buy one, get one free and stuff like that. But, today I talked to about 30 different business owners or managers about getting their stuff in this bag and them just paying us like $50, a contribution to the charity of about $50 to be the distribution arm to get that stuff out to the public. So we're advertising for them. We're helping them advertise, but what they're doing is helping us attract people to come learn what this is all about and to join that 1 in a million Founders Club. So as they come up to the table and we give them the QR code, they scan it, they get make that $5 donation for their first month, that $1 a week. We're going to give them that gift bag. Thank you. And that gift bag could be full of thousands of dollars worth of value. Over the course of a year, the most you're going to pay if all you do is that $1 a week thing for, the 1 in a million Founders Club, the most you're going to spend in a whole year is $52. There's 52 weeks in a year. So $52. But here, we're going to give you this bag right now because you just started your monthly subscription of $5. We're going to give you this bag that could be full of thousands of dollars worth of savings in the local area with the local merchants. So as we cover the country, we get Denton County up and going. If you're in another location, please join this club, this Founders Club of the $1 a week, because you're still helping veterans and elderly people no matter where they are. So your dollar is still going into helping us get that thrift store up and helping us fund developing the Coyote Canyon is our first location for veterans homes, right down the road from Denton, Texas, and then we'll be opening more. But the thing is, for every $1 million that's coming in here from people, we can branch out all over the United States. And we can open another store in every municipality area. We can, big populated area, we go open another store there. And that's where the homeless people, you will see that you see more homeless people in the major metropolitan areas because there's resources there for them and that are not in the small rural areas. So That's why we're going to be opening these stores in the major metropolitan areas, and also because there's a large the demographics being that there's a large population of people that would shop the thrift stores. So these stores are going to be set up all over the country, hitting every major city, all over, just bouncing around all over the United States. Wherever somebody pops up and says, "Hey, I want to be part of helping get this going in my community. I'm willing to help go look for the real estate, go look for the whatever it is, help manage a store, these things." So as we open these stores, your dollars come collectively together from everybody all over the United States helps us take this nationwide. So just because we're not opening a store in your area, please don't think, well, I don't want to give my dollar a week till you got a store over here where I'm at. No, we can't get to where you are until you contribute this dollar a week thing and help us have the money we need to be able to go to all the different locations. So, I'm anxious to get the Denton store up and running. Did make a lot of headway today in the community. I have found it's a college town. Found a young lady who needs to get some volunteer credits in for her degree. They have to put in so many hours of volunteer work. I said, I got you covered right here. No problem. So I now have people that will go out with me to go do events and talk to people about this and share it with other people and help get the word spreading through the community. I have 30 business owners now that know about this in the local area. They all know other people and business owners, and a lot of these people have been in this community for many, many years. They know lots and lots of people. They're associated to churches. So it isn't going to take long. You tell one person, it's kind of like gossip, you know? You tell somebody something, before you know it, 20, 30, 100 people know it. So this is what we want to do, is start this wildfire of people spreading the word about what's going on, what's about to happen here. Once we get that first store open and the community, we've got videos to put on YouTube about the activities that are going on, that store is helping people pay rent and utilities. We're building these tiny houses. We've got all these veterans living out at Coyote Canyon. Then we have evidence that what we have said we can do, we've already done it. And that makes it easier for us to go just gangbusters all over the country. So it's very, very important that we get this Denton store open as soon as possible, so I can get the stuff out of the storage units and out of the shipping containers, get it in the store, get it sold, get more stuff coming in from the community. And this is gonna explode. A lot of people want to support this. When they learn about the problems of the new face, I'm calling it the new face of homelessness. It's no longer just people who have a criminal history, people who have drug and alcohol issues. It's no longer just that. We have families living in cars with their children. Housing those people is a whole different ballgame, but we will get to them too. But first, let's get our veterans taken care of, number one, and the elderly and the disabled. Let's get those people housed first. Free up some space in the shelters for the others. Give these people some peace in their lives, some comfort, some security. Even in a shelter, you might be lucky if they have lockers and they'll let you put some stuff in a locker, but that's all you're going to have is that little bitty locker. You're sleeping in a room with other people that you don't know. Think about it. How comfortable would you be? How much sleep would you really get? But for a lot of people that have been sleeping on the streets for days, if they can get to sleep in a bed, in a shelter one night, they're so exhausted that they could sleep through anything. What a shame, though, to be that tired.
Lizelle?
Yeah.
Lizelle, yes, ma'am. We are almost at the top of the hour, and I wanted to talk about a little bit about the objections, because when people hear about the plight of the homeless, they are either going to say, I'm all in, or they're going to come up with an excuse or a reason or an excuse why they're not in.
Mm-hmm.
The main reasons that people would come up with is one, it's such a big problem, it can't work. Well, we've just quieted that objection. We are coming up, we have permanent solutions. We have self-sustaining solutions. So instead of giving a man a fish, we're going to teach a man to fish. Instead of giving a man a room, we're going to give him a home. And the thrift stores, they will continue to generate a income that will not only sustain the thrift store, but several tiny house villages, plus serve as a community hub in those areas. So you definitely want one of the thrift stores in your area if you have a calling on your life to help the homeless. And another objection is just what we saw tonight. Oh, they're all drug addicts. Oh, they're alcoholics. Well, to that, you said something, Lizelle. You said, I call it the new face of homelessness. We're not talking about the drug addicts and the alcoholics and the criminals. That's not who we're talking about. And yes, that is a part of that segment, but they are also a threat to the people that we are talking about. We're talking about the veterans, the senior citizens, and the disabled. And so those are the people that we are desiring to help. First and foremost, get them out of those conditions so that they won't be victimized by the negative element. So if the reason that's holding you back from being a part of this is because you don't want to help drug addicts and criminals and alcoholics, right on, you're in the right place, because we don't either. Now we're going to pray for them, but that's not what we're here to do. And these thrift stores will provide jobs. They will provide resources. They will help veterans who do not know how to get their VA benefits, who don't know how to get the medical help that they need, disabled people. So the thrift stores are a major, major part of this whole equation. Jobs, help, resources, and homelessness prevention through rental assistance and utility assistance. So so anyone who's out there talking to people and inviting them to join the 1 in a Million Club, Founders Club, if you hear, oh, I don't help them, they're drug addicts, and well, I don't want to help, say right on, I don't want to help them either. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about people who want help. We're not talking about the people who choose not choose, they don't want any help. And I still believe that many people who are addicted that's an illness. And I would love to lobby and hold pharmaceutical companies, but that's a whole nother fight.
Yeah, that fight has begun. That fight has been brought out, and some pharmaceutical companies have been sued, class act lawsuits.
As they should.
Yeah.
As they should. They put these kids on, but we're not going to go there. But so when you meet those objections, this is your rebuttal. We're not talking about that segment. We're talking about the veterans, the men and women who serve this country. We're talking about the elderly who have aged out of the job market, whose disability or retirement cannot keep up with the cost of living. The disabled who they may have been living with parents who passed away. They've outlived their
caregivers.
Right, they're caregivers, and they're on the street. So we have to open our eyes and our hearts to the people who need help and want help. So stand strong. I like that video because that opens our eyes to why some people can seem like they don't have a heart, why some people can turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the homeless because they so conveniently lump them all into one pot. They're drug addicts, they're criminals.
Mm-hmm. I want to make mention that if you're talking to people, don't make them wait till um, the evening call that we do here every night. Take them to YouTube. Get them to go to the YouTube channel. If you will go to YouTube and put in Let's End Homelessness, it will pull up the Blessed to Give YouTube channel. And there's now quite a few YouTube videos that have been posted on there. We post these recordings on there. But also at the bottom of each video in the description area, there is a link to this live event, and there is also a link to the link, the website link, where they can watch some more videos, learn some more about what we're doing, and make a contribution, get started becoming one of those 1 in a million founders, or if they want to give more than $1, that's all great. You know, we love that. The more the better. It's all about getting these stores opened up. Get them opened up, and we do have some little cards if you want to help distribute these little cards. I probably put 100 or so of them out there today, that you can just print. Go to Office Depot or somewhere and print them out and have them cut them up. The guys at Office Depot, when they saw what it was, they didn't even want to charge me for it. So,
Beautiful.
yeah. So a lot of people want to contribute, want to be part of helping. They've never heard of anything like this, and they've never, nobody's ever really presented. Here's a way we can take care of this problem. We can't sit around and wait for the government to do this. We can't. It's going to become a much bigger problem if we don't pull together as Americans now and get this done. Just get this done. And every day somebody dies, guys. Our elderly people out there and our older veterans, a lot of our Vietnam veterans are now in their 70s, living in these harsh conditions out there. They die 3.4 times earlier in life than people of their same, physical age and physical capabilities. They die 3.4 times sooner and earlier in life, premature, than people who are housed because of the harsh conditions and the medical conditions that they already have. So to me, it's just an unfair situation for them to be having to live this way. And the solution is so simple, so easy. It's like, why not? Why not do this? I can't imagine anybody not wanting to. I just can't. Our elderly people, they're somebody's mothers and fathers. Where their kids are and why they're not taking care of their parents, I don't know and understand. I think a lot of it has to do with that they're all strung out on drugs. So many people are the baby boomers' kids. I don't know how many people I know that are in their 60s, approaching 70s, and their grown children in their 20s and 30s are strung out on drugs. So they're not going to take care of their parents. You can't depend on the kids to take care of the parents anymore. So we got to step up together, because one day it's going to be us. We're the ones that could wind up in this situation. We need to create these living environments, these safe living environments, because we may need them ourselves one day. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen. A hurricane can come take down your house. The other day I thought, man, I don't know. I may be a goner here. I don't know.
And that's
Tornado
a
Alley over here.
That's a real possibility in Florida. That we're a one strong wind away. Everybody in Florida is one strong wind away from being homeless. It's sad, but it's true. And what we cause to happen for others, I believe God will cause to happen for us. So
That's
you
right.
want to sow some seeds of housing people. So in the event that you ever find yourself in that position, you are ready to reap that harvest. I just want to give some good news here. Please, everyone, continue to invite people to our Bless and Be Blessed Homeless Prevention Facebook page. We are now at 197 followers. We hit 1,000. We can start, 10xing 1,000, and then we get 10, everybody to invite 10 people, and 10 people join. That's 10,000. And then those 10,000 invite 10. That's 100,000. Those 10, those 100,000 invite 10 people. That's 1 million. We are on the rise. Continue to invite people. Send out invitations. Facebook will allow you to invite 1,000 people of your friends a day. So continue to send out those invites, and don't worry about sending them out after someone joined, because Facebook will automatically eliminate those people from that number. We have just had, I think, about 70 people join. And so, woo, we need to ring a bell on that. So
Yeah, I don't have my
continue.
bell in here right now, but
Oh,
yeah,
continue
wonderful.
to send out those invites. We are growing. All right. That's all I have. I think we covered objections, growth, permanent solutions, and opportunity.
Does anybody have any questions tonight? Any questions? Always want to make sure we've addressed. All right. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight and for all you're doing to share the word. It's called Bless and Be Blessed for a reason. Because when you go out to be a blessing, I believe, I've been told, you go out to bless somebody, blessings are coming your way. So thank you all for being here tonight, and for all you do to help us help others. Together we can do this. So thank you. All right. Gwen, anything else? I'm going to suggest we pull up the pledge and get committed to what we're really all about here.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to stop the live stream. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Continue to invite others. And Gail, I'm going to turn over host back to you.
God bless.
God bless you so much, Miss Lizelle. Beautiful, great information. And we are so excited about the marketing arm.
Yes.
Gail, it's all yours.
Thank you. Should be up in a second. We'd like to see the pledge. Do we have any volunteers?
I'll say it.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. This is the Crusaders Pledge to Eradicate Poverty. So if everyone will be to unmute their mic and just repeat after me. I have been blessed with the knowledge and the weapon that will eradicate poverty simply and easily.
I have been blessed with the knowledge and the weapon that will eradicate poverty simply and easily.
I have the power and the solution to help end the problems that poverty breeds.
I have the power and the solution to help end the problems that poverty breeds.
I'm an intricate part of ending the suffering of millions of people around the world.
I am an
I am an
intricate part of
intricate
ending the
part of
suffering of
ending the
millions of
solution
people
of
around the world.
I respect and honor the privilege and ability that has been bestowed on me
I
I
respect
respect and
and
honor the
honor
privilege
the
and ability
privilege
that
and
has been
ability that
bestowed
has
on
been
me
bestowed on me
to make a difference in poverty.
to make
to
a
make a
difference in
difference in
poverty.
poverty.
I will not waste time.
I
I
will
will
not
not
waste
waste
time.
time.
I hasten to the call of duty and pledge to give my best every day to this cause in the interest of all mankind.
I
I
hasten to
hasten
the
to the
call of
call
duty
of
and
duty
pledge
and
to give my
pledge to give
best
my
every
best
day
every
to this
day
cause
to this cause
in the
in
interest
the
of
interest
all
of all
mankind.
mankind.
For my God, who wants his people to prosper,
Before my
Before
God,
my
who wants
God, who
people to
wants people to
prosper,
prosper,
I'll make this pledge and I pray for the well being and success of all my fellow crusaders.
I make this pledge and I pray
make
for the
the
well-being and success of all
best
my
and
fellow
success
crusaders.
of all my fellow crusaders.
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
Semper
Thank you,
Fi.
Benita. And
Thank you,
thank you,
thank you,
Welcome.
thank
Liesl
you.
and Gwendolyn.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, Liesl,
All right. Uh-huh.
and did you check your messages? I sent you
You
something on
sent
a.
me something?